Hello, everybody. I want to first get this out the way. God is good all the time. Once again, I repeat that. God is good all the time. Um, I'm just finding out about the murder of Jessica Whitaker. What ended up happening is, from our understanding and from what has been told to us, she ended up getting into a confrontation with Black Lives Matter members and affiliates. And in that discussion, the phrase of all lives matter was responded back to them. As a confrontation ensued, both groups went their own separate way where they thought that the matters had been squashed, was quote unquote. And as the couple, Jessica Whitaker and her companions, went the opposite way, they was I guess Jessica Whitaker was shot by the same people who she ended up having an argument with, which is affiliated with Black Lives Matter. Okay, that wasn't good news for a lot of people to hear, and this is why I'm so irritated at the actions of Amanda Chase and all of those who actually try to stand up for a Marxist organization. This is not Black Lives Matter by the race. It is a separate agenda for Marxists that don't believe in America is ideal, doesn't believe in family, unit, and more. And this is obviously a murder that displays everything why so many are walking away from Black Lives Matter, because they're finding out the truth about their real agenda, and it doesn't have anything to do with the fact of Black Lives Matter. It is just basically who we want to matter will matter, and who we don't want to matter doesn't matter. And this is my thing. Black Lives Matter, White Lives Matter, Hispanic Lives Matter, all lives matter. Your life matters. So does Miss Whitaker. Life matters. And for the way to resolve this dispute by these Marxists was to walk away and make them think everything was good, and then to come back and shoot somebody dead because they said the phrase all lives matter. Seriously. And some people want to do photo ops with them. Some people want to give them concessions, the buffet of public policy. I'll be damned if I ever do that. That's why I call for the hate crime statute here in Virginia to be amended for those who actually target people based off of political organization, or in this type of phrase, this was clearly, had she been anything else, she probably would be alive today. But since it didn't go along with the Marxist views, then she's dead today over just that. Now, my hate crime statute is about making sure whether you wear MAGA shirts, whether you wear Democratic shirts or independent, whatever it may be, you are not to be physically struck or attacked in any kind of manner based off the intentions that I'm doing it for the reasons of basically whatever they are wearing politically. Let's get to this point, people. Because you have to have hate in you to believe that you're going to tell people how to dress and what they wear and what to support, and go against their First Amendment right, just like you have a First Amendment right. But instead of agree to disagree, you're going to kill somebody because they believe in a different political philosophy and their views is counter to yours. What point does that make, instead of basically saying, let's figure out where we agree and then let it be known where you disagree, and be civil enough to walk away from it without somebody being dead? Virginia is not going to have this type of problem, and if it does, we're going to make sure it's a clear deterrent to make sure actions like this doesn't repeat itself. because we got to send the message loud and clear. You're allowed to vote for who you want to vote for, but I'm not allowed to physically strike you or hurt you because you are not going to vote or your political beliefs is counter to mine. Because this is happening all across America. It's just not being reported because CNN and MSNBC wants to make somebody look something that they're totally not. And America is seeing a real picture, and they don't like exactly what the liberal media is making out of BLM and the rest of these groups, acting like they have a clear agenda and representation. They are telling people right now, I'm getting sick of it. I'm getting sick of the political correctness. People are getting fired for their jobs for feeling whatever kind of way they feel like. People are basically saying, if you don't say things a certain way, look at Deshaun Jackson, look at Steven Jackson and the rest of them, who, if you say something a certain way, then you need to get on TV and apologize for it, even though some are saying it wasn't even meant that way. It doesn't really matter. We got to get out of this situation where people's opinion is in any kind of way an excuse for their murder. Words are not bullets, but instead of exchanging words, it's words being exchanged with bullets. Where's the justice here? What's the mentality there? I'm supposed to keep encouraging and making excuses for this type of conduct. I'll be damned if I ever do that. Ms. Whitaker is an American citizen just like any other American citizen who has the same rights and privileges and the same guarantees for all Americans that has been given to them. Yes, we have to keep fighting for them, but at the same time frame, we got to be here to fight for them. It doesn't do us no good if you're in a body bag, and all because of somebody who is so hateful, so out of their mind to think that killing somebody because they don't agree with you is the way to handle things. You want to claim that you're being oppressed and your oppressors has their foot on your back, but you're killing people over the fact of mere words because you don't agree. Seriously. I'm supposed to say that your Black Lives Matter movement is legitimate. Your Antifa movement is legitimate. I'm not legitimating any of that. Any of that. Because it seems like life matters or the lives matter only to your group which think they matter. You're not in Chicago. Why don't you be up there where lives is being taken away in massive numbers for all of those in that area and with the strictest gun control laws, but you're not up there because you feel like I'd rather go ahead and bully areas where I don't have that much resistance, because you know you can't go to Chicago pulling that BS because they're going to say, where were you at a long time ago? There's a lot of people trying to benefit off of racism right now. That's what it boils down to. And it's not about racism. They trying to see how much money they can make off of it. That's what it's about. Everybody's a racist long as I'm keep getting paid. Look at Al Sharpton. Look at a lot of those who used to be about civil rights for free. Now they show up anytime frame the money's there. They show up anytime frame somebody's dead. Why don't you be there while they are alive? Why don't you be the leadership that they need to be and the mentorship that they need to be to stay alive? Not show up at their funeral for the benefit of basically saying, oh, I want to attack the president. It was shameful how George Floyd's funeral was done. This is the last few days they have, not with George Floyd, but his remains. And the whole amount of celebrities and those speaking was attacking the American president, not honoring George Floyd's life. That's why we see all this crap going on all across America. The second George Floyd was in heaven, do you think God told George Floyd to say, hey, make sure you burn down America over your death? No, that stopped the moment he went to heaven. And instead of honoring his name, all these different groups have profited and disrespected it. No, George Floyd wasn't a perfect person. Candace Owens pretty much put that out the bag, but the fact of the matter is neither are any other American that's out there. Nobody's perfect. People will have their mistakes. I'm not perfect. Nobody's perfect. But the fact of the matter is we all agree that George Floyd did not deserve to be murdered by that murderer. That wasn't a police officer. That was a murderer. But the fact is, what those groups did, looting, rioting, burning down cities all across America to get their demands and have temper tantrums anywhere they go, saying, I'm going to burn down the cities, I don't get what I want. That wasn't for George Floyd. That was just for people taking advantage of what happened to George Floyd and dishonoring him. That's what America's saying. That's why people are walking away from this agenda. And what people are more upset about is your group is calling yourselves Antifa and Black Lives Matter, trying to use that phrase to make people think you care about them. And in all actuality, y'all Marxists believe in the destruction of family, believe in basically America doesn't hold the ideals and principles, so you want to do a new world order. And then at the same time period, you feel like you deserve an apology. No. America is owed an apology, and the rest of y'all need to be in jail or prison, and y'all did murder for the rest of your damn life, just like any other American citizen. What makes you special? That's my problem with you. What makes you special, like people, because they don't look like you, don't go through the same things you do? You don't know these people's lives. But you already judged them based off the color of their skin, but you're claiming you was judged off the color of your skin. So how wrong is wrong? It doesn't ever equal right. The fact is, people don't talk that way. I told people I ain't a politician, but I'm going to be real with you. And I'm going to be real with you and get it to the point that you understand America doesn't take down this flag for you. America doesn't tolerate you murdering people because your feelings got hurt. America is not going to give you concessions because you feel like you have made the necessary threats and the terroristic acts that is supposed to bid well with you. And then you got people defunding the police, their own protection. But the thing about it, people don't think about defunding the police or when police is gone. But when they need for the police to show up and they can't show up, then they see what the reality of their decision. Then they're like, where's the police? Then they call, you don't have police? Well, you asked for it to be defunded. You asked for this. And the sad thing is, there's more law-abiding Americans than there is criminals. But law-abiding Americans have to suffer for what these criminals do. They're trying, this is RICO. This is a criminal organization that it has an enterprise in crime, and realistically, you can arrest the mob, but you can't arrest them. That's only because Democrats have gave them out the recipe of making sure as long as you cause havoc, we could win the presidential election. So keep it up at the expense of law-abiding Americans, no matter who their party is, Republican, Democrat, Independent. A victim is a victim. A murderer is a murderer. You see what I'm saying? And instead of speaking up for the victims, the Democratic Party has went on the side of the murderers. There's no excuse. Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. said it best. An unjust law anywhere or unjust treatment anywhere is the way it is all over the world, meaning it affects people all over the world. Because if we keep allowing injustices to happen, we will never see justice. If we are a part of the injustice that we preach against, we are just as bad as the example that we're trying to give others to lead by. Basically what it's saying is supremacy is not supremacy one way, but supremacy as long as I get my way. You see what I'm saying? We don't bow down to that. We don't give up our rights for that, our constitutional freedoms for that. That's weak politicians and career politicians. We got too many career politicians right now trying to be celebrities. And now celebrities is trying to take their place. Patriots want those who are there to govern, not worry about being the next headline. And right now we got headline politicians. We don't have leadership in a time of crisis. And the reason why I'm running for governor of Virginia, because I have to be that leadership. Because I'm seeing exactly what's going on here in America. Miss Whitaker did not deserve to die. George Floyd did not deserve to die. Nobody deserved to die. But realistically, all these people who are profiting off of this, that's what it's really about. Politicians is about money. These celebrities that's getting involved is not about the reason, because where were you at when George Floyd was alive? Where were you at when Miss Whitaker was alive? Where were you at with all those people who died across this country in regards to these protests? Where were you at for them? But you was there for George Floyd, and George Floyd, given what y'all claim George Floyd was about, would have been there for them. So, what does that say? He's a family man. All the people who are victims are somebody's family. My thing is, Black Lives Matter, right? Antifa want their lives to matter and all this other stuff. When will other people's lives matter? Because your life matters to them. So shouldn't theirs matter to you? Or is it about it only matters as long as it fits exactly the agenda that I want? That ain't American. That's called selfishness. And selfishness is not what America is about. America is about taking care of each other, leaving nobody behind, having good moral values, and leading the charge and making sure America becomes the greatest country on earth, because God blessed America. So, as far as everybody's concerned, this ain't the way I would ever want anybody to lose their life. By the very amendment I protect all the way throughout life. The First Amendment, the Second Amendment, our ability to be whoever we want to be and make the choices for that, but be accountable and responsible for the consequences of your actions. That's the thing. And like I said, your constitutional rights is your rights, and it's going to be protected. But abuse of that right, that's exactly what police and jails is for, and those who have to meet legal consequence and peril. But you can't be a vigilante of your own interpretation, because America is going to definitely be the one about justice and doesn't give a damn about your interpretation or your justification for it, because we're making too many excuses for them. Right now, that excuse time is over with. We need to take America back, and I'm the man to get that job done. I'm not here to make excuses. I'm not here to shake hands, bump fists, and make new friends that I don't even know. I can tell you like this. If I don't know you that well, I'll tell you people you're an associate. My friends have been through thick and thin with me. That's why I consider friends. I don't to make a friend the second I meet him. No, I gotta get to know you. And that's the thing. America got to get to know America. And we can't do that as you destroying our history and those who are in concert of destroying our history. You can't do that. So, God bless America. But we're going to take our country back, and we're going to do it the American way. This is Merle Rutledge, the 2021 candidate for governor of Virginia, signing off. And rest in peace, Miss Whitaker. What happened to you should have never happened.